Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. My name is Daniel Nangelo. I'm a technical advisor for information management. So if you're joining us for the first time, please like, subscribe and share widely. If you are part of us, please also share widely and also comment and subscribe. So today I want us to actually go through something that is new, or learn something that is new that has been recently introduced to Kobotoolbox mobile data collection platform. And actually is a very good feature. It's a very powerful feature. It used never to be there in previous years, but the developers have actually added it to the platform. So to link forms dynamically actually allows us to support longitudinal data surveys, right? So this is usually where we have an item that we want to track over time. And so this requires us to have a main form whereby we register this item, whether be it beneficiary or farmers, for the very first time. Then after some time, periodically, based on how our research is going to do, or on how our project, based on how our project on the reporting timeframes, we also do a second follow-up. Now, during this second follow-up, we want to be able to access data that was collected by the main form sometime or previously, in the previous period. So this is a feature that has now been introduced to to Kobotoolbox, and it allows us to actually set up this workflow, and that is the main objective why I'm doing this video today. So let's see how to configure this workflow. So the first thing that you are going to require is to have an existing server on Kobotoolbox, right? So if you don't have one, kindly you can just subscribe. It's free. So you can just register. The platform is free, and have an account which will allow you to manage your forms and data. So the second thing that you also need is to have two forms. You need to have a main form, and you also need to have a follow-up form. So I've done my forms on XLS form. So we are going to be ordering these forms using this platform. So the first thing that you need is this. So I already have my form already set up. So on your main form, you'll just load this form the normal way you load any other form. Then this follow-up form is whereby it's going to be also a normal follow-up form, but this time we're going to introduce some certain functions that actually are doing what the pull data function does, but this time it's doing it in a very dynamic way. As data is changing, so is this follow. So it's also data on our follow-up form also changing. So to do this, the first step that you're going to require is to first upload and deploy your main form. For my case is sample registration tool. So simply go to your form to Kobotoolbox data server, go to new, quickly upload your form. So I'm going to upload my registration form, the registration tool, so like that. Then okay, give it some time. Yes, there. I don't need to feed anything here because they're optional. So I'll simply go to creator, then I'll wait as it's publishing. Okay, wonderful. So I already have my form now here loaded. It's currently under that is still under draft. So I'm going to just go and deploy it immediately. Now, once I deploy it, I'm going to go to the settings tab of my registration tool here, settings. And now if you look at this, you should be able to see an additional option here called Connect Projects. So click on that tab there, then it's going to show you this interface here. So here this part here, by clicking data sharing enabled, it actually allows you to share this form data and use it to preload to other forms. So this, we are going to select this acknowledge and continue. All right. So I'll maybe click it again. All right, there, it has accepted. All right. So once this is set up, you're going to see something here. Select specific questions to share. So if you click this, it now allows you, if you are interested only to maybe pick certain questions within your data collection tool, you can come here and select what you need. If you need the entire form data, like me, you simply just say, you don't select this, you just simply leave it the way. So what that is going to do by default is going to publish the entire data set from this form, right? So once that, I'm going to now go now to my sample follow-up form. So on this form, I'm going to require two things. I'm going to make some modification. So the first modification I'm going to do is to, let me just quickly expand this. Maybe let me make it a little bit bigger. Give it 14 here. All right, if you take a closer look at my tool here, we need to introduce a question here, a question type. It's called XML external. XML external. So once we introduce this, and please, it should be at the start. We do recommend that you have it at the start here, but you can also just have it anywhere within your tool. So sample registration tool. Now this XML external is to make our connection, we are going to require this ID, this XML external. This ID is a connection ID, right? So sample registration tool. So where are we connecting to? We are connecting to the sample registration tool, the one that we have just uploaded, right? So have it that name there. Then on the questions that you want to preload data to, for my case here, we have our questions set up. So maybe quickly we just have a preview. We have the surveyor name, we have a follow-up date, the consent reason, this is a group, then we have the farmer details, then we have enter farmer code to search. The farmer name is going to be pre-populated or automatically pre-populated or pulled up. Is going to reference now the data from our main form, right? So what we need to do is to now come to the second phase of this configuration exercise, and then we need to look at everything that we want to preload. So I want to be able to do to enter a farmer code here, and then from that farmer code, I want my tool to be able to do to pull my details about the farmer name, the registration, the date of birth, the gender, the district, the village, the ID number, and the telephone. So these are all the fields that I want to pull from my main form, that was a sample registration tool. So under calculation column here, I'm going to do some slight configurations. So I'm going to explain what what this function does, we need to write a function that is going to dynamically, now it's going to do what pull data function does, but now in a dynamic way, right? So yes, like the data connection here is going to be real time. Yes, you can still have a team that is also working on the main tool or the main registration tool. Then as they're registering more entries, also on our follow-up form, those entries are also dynamically being updated, right? Yes. So here, let's maybe drag it like that to have a better look. All right. So I have my enter farmer code here. That is okay. And you can see that the question code is search farmer code. This here, search farmer code. So we are going to filter this data. After creating this connection, we want to be able to filter this data according to this code. So here we need to do one thing. So we are going to write this function here, instance. So this instance, we actually now telling the system where it should go. So we are referencing the instance sample registration tool, and this is going to be all right. So then after this instance tool, we want to route, or we want to go directly to the data. So that's why we are routing to the data, right? Then from the data itself, we are interested with this address here. This is actually a table column inside sample registration tool, right? This sample registration tool is now data from the form that we want to preload data from. This is the main form. So under here, consented farmer code key, right? There's a column inside that. Let me just maybe pull up this. This was our registration form. Yes. So we have this farmer code key. This farmer code key. So this is a column inside this table that has unique farmer code key. You can see here, right? So we want it to be able to match this, and match it to what? Match it to what we have under our current form here, right? We have it under our current form. Then two full stops here. Then search farmer code. Then we terminate this here. Then we say, what are we pulling? We want to pull consented name of farmer, right? So this is what we are pulling from this form here, and it's going to match this one here. Don't worry how it's going to do this. I'm going to show you how it's going to make this connection. So once this is set up here, so all these are the ones that we are pulling from our parent form this here. So we have name of farmer, registration date, date of birth, sex, district, all this, right? So and please just be keen on how you are entering this. So it's instance, full open bracket, a single quotation mark, then the sample registration tool, that is the ID of the form that we had already set up, then close the quotation, close the instance. So we route, right? We route this data. So it's /root/data, then we open. So what are we referencing from this data? We want to reference consented farmer code key, and from this code key, this is what we are going to match. We want to filter this to what? To what we have under our current search farmer code. Then we want to bring this from this. We want to bring this from this sample registration form. So we do this for everything here. Then once we are done, we simply save. Now I want you to make an observation. This is the similar to this code, so they should always be similar to your external external data and this entry here. You see, we have XML external, then it has been matched to this sample registration tool. So make sure that they are matching. Now you'll want to also make a note, maybe copy this. Let me just copy it so I have it in the memory of my PC. Then come to back to your data server here and now load that follow-up form. So then you will load and just yes, select that. All right, so then I'm going to immediately deploy this. Now once this has been deployed, I'm going to go to the settings tab of this follow-up form. So click on the settings under connected projects. So this time here I don't need to turn on sharing because I don't want to share any data of this, but I have some forms here that I can tap into, I can connect into. So this was the parent form, the sample registration tool. So I selected like that, and you can see here it is sample registration tool, which was actually the form ID of this tool. Now you can always change this, but make sure it matches what you have under external XML tag here, this one here. You can always change it to this, and once you change this, also make sure you also change, you come and change this. So don't once you make this configuration, be very keen, because every time you change this, we do not recommend you changing this. We actually recommend working with the default. Yes, then click import. So from here, remember we had shared data, the entire data set. So I'm also going to also select everything like this, then accept. And just like that, our connection has been established. So the next thing, we are going to look at our mobile app client, that is a Kobo Collect, to see whether those changes have been effected. So so here it is. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to go and maybe let me see, to go to get blank form. All right, so all right, so there I have it. So I'm interested with this get, selected these two. Right, so once that is done, I'm going to go to fill blank form, and then I'm going to go to the sample. You can see I have two of them. Okay, let me just maybe clear this quickly. Okay. All right, so back to get blank form. So it's actually making a connection to our server, and this time we're only interested with the registration tool, the sample registration tool, and the sample follow-up form. So you click on get selected and click on OK, and here we are. So go to fill blank form and select sample registration tool, and then we are going to go to next. I select an enumerator there. It's a farmer registration database, so we select the date of registration. I'm going to go with today, select OK, then next. I'm going to give consent. I'm going to provide my district. For this, I might say maybe something like, let me use Kitale. Kitale. Then next is going to generate the farmer code automatically. So then next is a farmer name. I'm going to give up here a dummy name. So maybe looking at Solomon. Solomon fish. Yes. Then next. Village. Maybe let's say. Right. Good. Then national ID. This is actually dummy data, so it's just randomly. Doesn't refer to anything, but for purposes of demonstration. Then want this to be male. So I have date of birth here. Select saying should not come after 2004. I believe that's an age gap of 18 years. So I'm going to pick some earlier date here. Let me go with this. Okay. Next, telephone number. I'll say yes. I'm going to use this format. So I can say good. There I have it. I'm going to mark it as finalized, then save it, and then I'm going to go to send finalized, select this, then send selected, select OK. Now I'm going to go to my the next thing we need to do is to access the follow-up form and be able to see whether we can access these details. So the details that we are looking at was it let me see, look at view, send selected, it's there, 6887, right? Yes, so that is KIT 6887. So the next thing that you're going to do before you go to your follow-up form, so this is the workflow. You first refresh your form, right? You can maybe be going directly to get blank form and selecting the get blank form. So if you look here, you should be able to see that your sample form here has an update, right? So pick it, then get selected. So this is how you'll be updating your list of farmers this is how you're going to be streaming. So every update, every farmer that is being registered in the database will require you to update. Every time you want to work with the follow-up form, you update your database. Now, if you don't want to keep doing this from time to time, you can actually go to the settings. Now, under the settings, you can actually set it up so that it does what? So that it automatically collects or updates your form. So for those who don't know how to set it up, just go there, go to settings, and then we look at what? I think it should be this. Right, so settings, then we are looking at what? We need to look at form management. So under form management, you look at the frequency form update. So under form update, you can always say exactly match the server, right? Yes, so that you don't have to keep doing get blank or get blank form. So with that already done, you can always go back to your form. Then you say fill blank form. You select the sample follow-up form. There it is. Open it. Can now this time go with the Eliminator 2. Select my follow-up date. Next. Give the consent. Then from this here, I'm going to enter my farmer ID key. So I remember I show something like KIT with some hyphen and then 6887. So you can see is able to you can see it has already downloaded that that data. So ladies and gentlemen, from here you can decide whether you want to update any of this, right? So I can say maybe it was Fitsu, right? So next, like that, then also mark form as saved, then save form and exit. So that is what I have ahead for you today. Please, if you like this video, please subscribe, share, comment. So I'll be leaving some links under the description here to help you have an exercise of this. Thank you and see you in my next video.